Hey guys, coming at you with a deck profile today on pure Crusadia. This is just blind Crusadia OTK, no Guard Dragon, no Thunder Dragon. Uh, Definitely not a meta deck, but a very strong rogue deck. You could definitely steal a few regional tops with this, maybe even a YCS if no one's expecting it. Very slept on deck with a lot of potential and a lot of kill power. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, we're going to play 3 copies of the card that makes the OTK, and that is Crusadia Maximus. This card gives any Crusadia monster double damage, so whenever you use this with your Ecomax, you're usually going to be killing. Next we have 3 copies of Crusadia Draco. This is the card that allows you to recur your Crusadias from the graveyard. It's really good at getting back your normal summon, so that way you can later special summon it into the Link Arrows. Very, very strong card. Next up we have 3 copies of the Scrap Dragon of the deck, and that's Reclusia. You can just pop Crusadia to pop another card. Very, very good. Next we have 3 copies of Arborea. Probably the one that has the most utility of the deck. She is built-in protection in the fact that you can banish her from the graveyard. And she's also a tuner, so you can use her to make some synchro plays. And she's also a warrior, so you can grab her with Rhoda. And then lastly for the Crusadias, 3 copies of Leonis. He's the worst one in the fact that he just gives piercing damage, but he's still a Crusadia, which means he can still special summon himself to a Link Arrow. So we still want to play 3 of him just for maximum potential to flood the board. Next we have 2 copies of World Legacy World Crown. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's just built-in negation for any extra deck monster, and it also allows you to search your World Legacy Succession when it's tributed. Double utility. I really like the card. It's also got the Crusadia Claws where you can special summon it to a Link Arrow. So yeah, very, very good card overall. Then this next card is a tech choice of mine, but I've really been liking it, and that's 1 copy of World Legacy World Lance. This card's amazing. It's essentially an honest for any Link monster. It can make anything it battles lose 3k. And Crusadia Ecomax actually gains the original attack of whatever it points to. So even if you swing over whatever it's pointing to, drop this, make it lose 3k, Ecomax's attack actually won't be affected. So this is a really good way to end the game when your opponent thinks that they'd be fine because they have a big monster, and then you just make their big monster have 0 attack, and then you just kill them. And then next we have 3 copies of probably my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, Dino Wrestler Pankratops. It's 2600 body, so it helps you OTK, and it's also built-in removal. I just love this card with a passion. And then lastly we have just 2 Kaijus. I prefer to play just 2 Kaijus because I don't ever want to open more than 2, because then the third one's dead because I can't give it to myself or my opponent. So with this, I will never have more than 2, and I also play 1 Slumber because even if I draw the Slumber with a Kaiju, I can still pitch it off of like a Twin Twister and search for the other Kaiju. So this is just my personal preference because I don't like to brick with 3 Kaijus or more. You can always bump it up if you like it like that. This is just what I do. Onto the spells, I play 1 of all of the Crusadia spells. They're all searchable, so you can get to any of them when you need it. This one is Protection. This one helps you OTK by giving plus 500 and allowing things to attack multiple times. And this one lets you replenish your hand by drawing about 3 cards. So yeah, each one's good in their own scenario. Next, being a blind second deck, we do play 3 copies of Twin Twister because we don't want to run into any pesky back row. This card's been just amazing for me. I usually always have extra cards in hand of this card, so it's never really dead. Next up, we have 3 copies of Called by the Grave. We don't want to end up losing because our opponent has a well-timed Ash Blossom. So this card is a mandatory main deck in my opinion. Next, we have 3 copies of Mind Control. There is no greater disrespect than to steal your opponent's monster and then link it away to make your Ecomax. This card is just absolutely phenomenal, and every going second deck should play this in my opinion. Next, we have 2 copies of World Legacy Succession because it's a searchable monster reborn, and who doesn't like that? And then for the 1-ofs, we have 1 monster reborn, 1 reinforcement of the army, and 1 interrupted kaiju slumber. On to the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Crusadia Magius. This is your rota of the deck. Whenever a monster is summoned to his link arrow, it allows you to search for Crusadia monsters, so it allows you to just extend your plays. Next we have 2 copies of Regulix. He's like a Magius, but he searches for the spells instead of the monsters, so he's less useful. 1 copy of Spatha. A lot of people don't play her, but I like her at 1 because she allows you to move any monster into another monster zone. So this can actually be a really cheesy way to kill your opponent by moving their monster into the zone across from equal max and boosting your equal max. Speaking of the devil, 2 copies of equal max. He is your OTK machine. He gains the attack of whatever he points to, and he's also got built-in negation where he has a quick effect to tribute a Crusadia or World Legacy monster he points to, and then negate 1 face-up card in the field. Very, very strong card. Next for the generic stuff, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. The Nightmares are just generically good links, and just about every deck plays them nowadays. Next we have 1 Topologic Trispana. It's a good way to remove all the back row, and it's also a good way to end the opponent with burn damage. So yeah, I really like this card. 1 copy of Saryuja Skulldread. It's very easy to make, it's very easy to fix those bricky hands, and it's very, very easy to just create boards of big monsters by giving everything plus 500 and special summoning them. So yeah, I like it. 1 Boros. This card could be a good way to clear boards and can also get really big really fast. And then lastly, 1 FA Dawn Dragster. Just another additional negation, and you can make it easily with any level 4 Crusadia and an Arborea. That's it for the deck. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later.